My name is Andrea Henrich, and this is Homeschooling with the Henriches. In today's video, I am going to share with you how I got my kids to love reading and encourage that enjoyment of reading. Reading has become a big part in our family, and personally, it is not something that I grew up really enjoying and loving. So for me to teach this to my kids and really set them in a direction that they're really going to be avid readers, it's mind-blowing. It's been mind-blowing for me, and it has encouraged myself to love reading and to really enjoy every aspect of reading. So what you want to do is, once your kids are starting to read, and if you watched my previous video about how to teach your kids how to read, I always start my kids with Bob books. But as we're going through the process, I take my kids to Barnes & Nobles or any bookstore near you, and I have them pick out a special book. This is a book that they want to really read, and something that may be coming to their attention, and it's going to be something that it's really engaging for them. So for my daughter, we went to Barnes & Nobles, and she picked up The Little House in the Big Woods. This is a Little House on a Prairie series. So this, how she came about this is that we watched the Little House on a Prairie show, and she has fallen in love with the story, and she just really wanted to read all about it. So this really caught her attention. But this is a really big book, especially for a little one that's just starting to read, of course. So this is something that she really looked forward to getting to read on her own. And so the way that I told her, I said, if you can get to a good section of reading, and if we can move on through the easy readers, you can read us the Little House on a Prairie series books for morning time. And that really motivated her. She wanted to be the reader for our morning routines, and she really was striving to improve her reading to get to read her book. So before she got to that book, for Christmas, she also got a Barbie book set. So this is an easy reader set, and she loves Barbies. And this was a great stepping stone for her to read as she had gotten better and better at it. The key here is to get books that your kids are really interested in. Even though your kids might not be ready for it now, this is something that you guys can do reading together. So this book, I think this was when she was transitioning, starting to do sight words. So this wasn't definitely not in her level of reading. But we sat down together and we would read together the little pages, and I would help her out in the words or phonic elements that I knew she did not know at the time. So this was something that I did. And at the library, when I was at the library, I heard from the librarian that there's this Acorn books. So you can go to the library, you can look it up at your local library. These Acorn books are a stepping stone from easy readers to chapter readers. And it helps those kids that are a little scared to get to the next step really feel more comfortable about reading bigger books and bigger sentences. So again, this is a short series. Again, it has a lot of more sentences per chapter, but it's not overwhelming for the child, as you can see here. And this is a book, I Can Build It. So this is great. They have little series, little Acorn series. Another thing that I like to do is have the kids read the books that they have at home. So my kids loved Are You a Cow? It's just a silly book by Sandra Boynton, and they're always laughing every time we read books like this. This is repetitive books, which is great for vocabulary. And so I have them read the book. So this is a really short and sweet book. This is easy. This is something that she did by herself. She felt so accomplished, especially when they're reading to a younger sibling or reading to you, and they're just giggling, they're making the sounds, or like reading mentally a little bit before they're reading to you. And this is really fun to do with them, and So definitely keep in hand any childhood book or early reader book that you have that they have really loved. This is really fun. Another series that is great, as everybody knows, is a Dr. Seuss series. This is great. This is silly. The kids are going to be laughing again with all the silly things that Cat in the Hat does. This is not too hard. A lot of kids learn reading with Dr. Seuss. My dad was one of them. So he went and got the kids a whole series of Dr. Seuss books, and we read together. So I would read the number 2, and I would have my kids sound out fish, ish, and stuff like that, and so on and so on. So this is all about reading together, just like with the Barbie books for my daughter. This was another book that I love to pull from. And we just read together. Read together with your child really helps them feel more confident. You are having a relationship with your child. This is a bonding time for your child as well. So it is a win-win for everybody. Now, that was for my daughter. She really liked Barbies. Now with my oldest son, he loves baseball. He loves sports. So every time we went at the library, we got little readers. So this is reader level 1. And we got baseball books, and then we graduated, and he saw this book at a little library near us in the park, and he saw this book, and this book has a lot more letters than the Clifford book does. And as you can see, there's a lot more letters, and he was intimidated, but boy was he excited to know what was going on in here. He was just really mesmerized with the pictures. He wanted to know what baseball things they were doing. And this was really great. And with my son, I did take him again to the library, and I told him, anything that you want, just pick out one book that you really want. It does not matter if it's a chapter book or what kind of book it is. I want to have a book that you want to strive to read. And of course, the baseball lover that I have, he picked Who Was Babe Ruth. So he really wants to know who was Babe Ruth, and we are working there. We're now starting to read this book. He has emerged through the lower levels and through this level of reading. And now he's starting this book again with my daughter. I had her read in the morning time. This is my son's morning time reading, and he enjoys sharing knowledge about Babe Ruth. And he will read this with me or with his younger siblings. And then he just comes up to me throughout the day, hey mom, did you know that Babe Ruth did this and did that? And you know, like all these things. And he's encouraged himself as a baseball player, and he is just sharing facts with everybody about the book, and he is showing comprehension and that he's really enjoying the read. Let me show you the way that I encourage my kids to keep on reading. So this is my reading area. And in this reading area, this is where the kids come to read whenever I'm doing school with another child. And this is a calm zone for everybody. Over here, I have charts. And this printable I got from Teachers Pay Teachers from Daddy Alvarez. And what I did with this, I printed them out, I laminate them, and I set them up on our wall. Before, I used to just print them out and have the kids mark and color the boxes as they were reading, but I figured that I was just wasting too much paper, and sometimes I would just forget to print it in time beforehand, so I would forget, and it would be a mess. My kids would be like, well, yesterday I read a book, but you didn't have the chart, and it was just a lot of tracking for me. So laminating them, and what I did, I laminated some stickers. So I got stickers that they loved, and I laminate them, and I add the little Velcro backs to them, and so that way they're reusable, and that way they can just add stickers to their charts. And once they're full, once they've completed the whole chart, they get to do two things. They get to either pick a prize, or have a special date of their choosing. We have passes to Sky Zone, and we have a free little golf tickets that they get to do. So this is great. This is an inexpensive activity for me because we do have passes to the mini golf and we have passes to Sky Zone. So they can choose to do those special activities that we don't usually get to do one-on-one with a parent. Or they can choose a prize from our prize bin. So this is not anything fancy. I just have a bag full of little trinkets. This is Legos that we've gotten from Legoland that's been left over, or little squishy balls, little craft kits. My daughter loves crafts, so I made sure to add some craft supplies in there, or any Target dollar sensory bins. These are great. They're small and they really keep the kids wanting to be a star reader. Not only do they get a prize or an outing, but the kids get to wear their star reader crown. This is the most coveted crown in our household, and everyone is very excited to get to wear this crown. I always keep it in sight, so anywhere that they're in the homeschool room, they can see their star reader crown, and everyone is just reminding themselves to read or to have me read with them, so that way they can get a sticker. For my older kids, they do have to read chapter books. For my younger kids, the way that I instill reading is that whenever they do their letter sounds or their letter blends or their pop books, they get one sticker. So the sticker goes that whether they did a perfect job reading a book, or maybe if they struggle, they still get a sticker, because they're putting in so much effort into what they're reading and what they're trying out. So they do deserve a reward for this. That was the end of how I instill a love of learning in my household. I have enjoyed sharing all the resources that I have with you. And if you like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to this video for more homeschooling tips and read alouds. Until next time, bye!